In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a digital piano or a synthesizer for recording. One of the great advantages of using a digital piano is that it's got outputs on the back of it. So rather than having to set it up with microphones like you would with a real piano, you can use those outputs and you can go direct, just like we did with the guitar recording. Now we're going to need a little bit more equipment with this direct recording because it's just a little bit more involved than the guitar that we set up in a previous video. So I haven't even set up the digital piano. I'm going to do that with you, okay? Normally lives around here. I'm going to need a few different things. First thing you're going to need is a keyboard stand. Now this is a nice fancy one by Hercules. If you open it and then close it again and then open it again, it will lock into position. Put the piano on. Now I'm setting it for standing height, but it might be that your keyboard player wants to sit down. So you'll need to check with them to see whether they want to sit down or stand up. You're obviously going to need power for the digital piano, so that lives over here, very straightforward. Another reason why there's always a power strip here. Excuse me, dropping stuff. Take the knot out of the cable, working tidy and clean all the time. And there's the power connector. So on the back of the piano, that goes into DC 12 volt, that's what we want in there. Nice and straightforward. You're also going to need the sustain pedal, very important. It might be that your piano player doesn't want it or doesn't use it, but it's unlikely. If it's me playing for you, I will definitely want this. Okay, so this goes on the floor and then connects to the port marked damper pedal, which is a bit strange. Okay, they normally say sustain, but this particular one says damper. Okay, so the piano is now ready to go. If we turn it on and give it a second to boot up, we will get sound. Takes a while. There we go. Okay, next up is the monitoring setup, which is exactly the same as the guitar recording, if you've already done that one before. So, as I've told you, on the pass-through, in fact, if you haven't watched that video, make sure that you have. On the pass-through, it's all permanently connected. We have a headphone feed coming out of the mixer, going into the pass-through and coming out the other side in channel 3. So this is a headphone feed. Jack to jack cable. Remember, the one that we use is top right. Plug that in. Give some power to the headphone amp. Make sure you've got a green light on there. A pair of headphones. Okay, I'm going to put them on the piano, ready for the player to use them. And again, there's only one person involved, so I'm going to use input 1. Okay, so anything that we're playing out of the studio now, the piano player is going to be able to hear through their headphones. So the monitoring setup is ready to go. So let's set up the direct connection, the DI of this piano. Now, when we did the guitar, we used an active DI and we only needed one of them. We used an active DI because a guitar is a passive source. It doesn't have its own power supply, or most guitars don't have their own power supply. But this piano does have its own supply. It is an active source. So for this, we need a passive DI. And we have 2 of those. And we're going to need both of them for this recording. They're on the shelf here. They are these black boxes. They're a little bit simpler than the active ones, purely because they don't have a power supply in them. And we're going to need both of them. The reason we're going to need both of them is the piano has 2 outputs. Okay, the piano has 2 outputs. They are here, left and right. They have stereo outputs. So this piano, when you play it, simulates real stereo. So if you're playing notes which are towards the left-hand side, they'll come out of the left channel. If you're playing notes which are to the right-hand side, they'll come out of the right channel. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so we need to take a feed from both of those outputs, put them both through a DI, and then put them both as a pair of channels into the interface. So let's do that now. So we're going to need various different cables. On one end, we have XLR, and on the other end, we have jack. So we're going to need both of those, and we're going to need 2 of everything. So I've already got out one XLR cable and one jack cable. Now I got those from up here on the shelves, okay? Everything nice and clearly labelled. XLR cables are in there, jack to jack are in there. It's very high up, health and safety. If you need to get stuff down, use the steps and make sure they're set up properly. Remember, I also keep an XLR and a jack cable in here for nice easy access, so I'm going to use those. And now we've got everything we need to set up in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the jack cables. This piano really doesn't want to shut up, does it? Okay, take one of the jack cables. And that was not a very sensible place to put them because I need to pick this up to show you. Okay, so the two outputs, here are the jacks. Yes, we've got line out. Really, shut up. Right and left. Okay, it doesn't matter which one you go in at the moment. Okay, and while I'm here, may as well do the other jack cable. Remember to take everything out of the figure of eights, working clean, working tidy. Okay, and I've gone into two outputs. We've got stereo feed out of the piano. Now these, each one is going to go into a different DI. Okay, so I've got two outputs. Right, and I'm going to go into the input. Okay, so out of output into input. We're inputting into the DI. I'm going to do that with the other one as well. Output. No, sorry, input. Out of output into input. Okay, just put those up there for the time being. And then to get them into the pass-through, we're going to use XLR cables. Now, these should be long enough. It could be that I need to use longer ones. Okay, so the male port on the DI, I'm going to take the female end of the XLR cable. Oh, we've got a knot. Whoops. We've got, oh, caught that one. Got a DI on the floor. This piano's a bit slippy. What a tangle. Oh, it's still there. It's all right. Like I've said before, it's not like I'm camera and everything. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take this one and I'm going to go into channel 1. Now, it's worth noting at this stage which one you've put into which channel. So if I trace this back, was this the left or the right? Now, as it happened, it's looped around the piano and all sorts. I'm just going to tidy up as I go. Oh, what a mess. Shut up. Okay, so this one, channel 1 is right. Okay, channel 1 is right. We're going to remember that for later when we're setting up. Okay, there's one DI. And then my next XLR cable, different brands, doesn't matter. Okay, still a decent cable. A bit longer actually, which is good. Same thing as before. Male XLR port, female end of cable. In we go. Let's tidy up as we go this time. Everything's getting caught today. Doesn't matter though, just work cleanly and consistently. And this is going to go into channel 2 on the pass through. I'm going to remember that that is left. Okay, that is left. And we've got a nice table here where we put all the DIs, keep all the cables nice and neat. Okay, that would be easy to find our way around. Put the headphones back on the piano. So we're all sorted out here. Don't need to change any of the settings or any of the DRs or anything. They're all set up, ready to go. So we come back into the studio. And do you remember how we've had 1 and 2 always set with these blue markers? I told you about those in the guitar video. Well, they go over here. And at the moment, they're not set up to go into the pass-through. Okay, we've got one here. Where's the other one? In there, okay. Labelled. Nice and clearly, 1 and 2. But at the moment, the last thing we did was a drum recording. So we've currently got the snare in channel 2. So just take that out. Check the gains are down, actually. There we go. And we're going to go 2 into 2. 1 into 1. Okay, and now we are able to set this up in Logic in the same way that we normally would using the 8920, but we're going to have two separate tracks for the piano. Okay, we're going to have the first track, we said that was left. No, we didn't. We said that was right. Okay, if you're not sure, go back and check. Okay, we said that was right. So you would set that up as piano right. And then your second track on channel 2, you would set that up as piano left. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how to set up a recording from digital piano using a double DI setup. And you'll get a lovely stereo recording as a result of that.